So, I'm sure I will be, once again, with absolutely no waiver or even anything to see here. I guess if there is at least one player or viewer or even one voice chat user here, I will start speaking of it. It wasn't meant to be created for now. But if you want to listen on it, you will understand it. It is very simple for this video. Today's video is going to talk about cashless society. Nowadays, we're going to use like bank cards or credit card, or debit cards in order to pay like in stores so that it becomes even more convenient and faster, right? Now we have those cards, we can spend it overseas and centralize the transaction and do it by the clearinghouse. Yeah, it is very convenient and like it makes your steps easier. However, if you lose your bank card or the account, relevant account, your account is frozen, you are being locked out from every single shop that only accepts the relevant electronic payment. I understand that there will be no viewer at all to see this. I have no hope on if I could have any viewers. Anyway, let's go back to the main point. There are already shops that will not accept cash as a general payment. Yes, sometimes there are shops that do not accept cash because they do not wish to have any problems when they handle the cash. For example, you need the banker and the securities supplier in order to supply the banknotes back to the bank. It makes the cost slightly higher, but sometimes it might be even higher than running your business alone. But the problem is, yes, we could have more points. I mean, the rewards when we use debit card, credit card, or something. But cash remains the legal tender. It discriminates people. For example, imagine you only have the cash in hand and the credit card is like missing in your pockets, but it is in your home. At the home, you didn't bring it to the shop. Guess what? You want to be able to buy it because they only accept contactless payments. For example, the credit card, the mobile payment, but you don't have the relevant application. Why? Why should that happen? Despite they are supposed to be capable of accepting cash. Now ask yourself, why? But that is just the story. That is literally just one of them. Because this might not be as concerning as the next one. Okay, let me add another photo I did. Let's go ahead and for another. The main problem is, if you have listened about the fact that the World Economic Forum wants to say you will own nothing and will be happy, what this really means, you don't own your emotion. Your emotions aren't expressed on your own. Because you will likely be controlled by anyone who are having a high rightfulness of. What makes sense? Because you will own nothing. Your credit card might be ending up into security problem because every single risk is centralized. Losing credit cards today might be just immediately asking your bank to cancel it. Because in the future society, if you lose it, that moment, that period, you won't be able to do anything. You have no cash. You don't own anything. Very simple to say that. Hey, I'm still off the topic, but what do I have to think of? Because even though it is out of normal people concern, if they are if, if you're being punished by accounts freezing, you basically lose the rights to buy anything. Why does this matter? You cannot do any regular trading transactions involving fiat money. Fiat money is as common just like the US dollar today. Why is it? Okay, by the way, let's explain the second photo, which is having board order machines. They weren't here. Before that, there was another cashier so that I could pay it in cash. But soon they replaced the cashier with that four order machines. Now I could no longer pay it in cash. I can pay it in my debit card, but I won't. They still do accept cash on the other side when they sell the grocery store there, but I fearful if this continues, if this cashless concept turns into all the shops that should be accepting cash, defeats the whole purpose of physical stores. If I could not proceed to use my cash on a physical store, then why should I have to pay it in credit card in a physical store? Why don't I pay it online directly? Why do you have any contactless payments at all? It makes no sense. I just spend it directly online, and even your cashier can be removed. But still, the problem is you have decreased the job numbers, artificially decreasing the job offerings that could save people. I'm not sure, but efficient business model is necessary, but then how the job offering would be better or something? No. Those job offering is gone. They are actually gone. You cannot have any laborers. You cannot have any slaves. To that extent, you will have nothing for them to do. Why do they want you to earn nothing according to the World Economic Forum? Because they want to spread their agenda about the globalist. In fact, Nazism. For real. China is an example of how you lose the rights, how the new technologies, but then remove all the old technologies, is extremely risky and centralizing the risk. Everything goes smooth, but one problem, one bug, everything is fucked up. This is for real. This should not be encouraged. On the other examples, in the US, Amazon created their own cashierless store. Initially, they would not accept the cash, but why then they had to open up the store and began to accept the cash? It is simple, because the law says that cash remains a legal tender. When the bank accounts you have is the legal tender, the cash you have as well. It is important because you own the cash. You pay the cash and buy the stock. Just like paying it directly online when you have the amount of balance and you have something else. It is. Okay. Anyone is here? Do you want to have a way through something like comments or chat room? I have to speak it out. Okay, the first point. Why do we need to have cash? Even though if we ran into hyperinflation that the denomination might go to Google Plus, printing a banknote alone still requires the cost. Like the Google Plus denomination might still need about 1 to 2 units of that currency. And that currency is actual. You cannot be further created by minting another Google Plus to cope. You spend it. Now we have billions of banknotes. Might not be a big matter because it might only cost like hundreds of millions of a currency unit. But even though if you declare void on those banknotes, yeah, indeed, they lost the value is said. But the paper itself still has its worth. It is important because if we On the other side, if we only allow bank payments, they might be able to print the Google Plus with absolutely no cost. It is not only at absolutely no cost, but they can also recall or freeze your account at absolute ease. You lose the control of it. You agreed with it. But that should agree is something that is supposed to be illegal. Why? Why do it have to be that? So that is the very short one. Even if even if you end up hyperinflation, you can look at Zimbabwe and the historical valuation like the Switzerland or something like Germany. Printing banknote requires a cost, and the physical ones and the other fiat ones. You're eventually in short of it. In virtual ones, it won't be. Just simply put a big number of zeros, a large amount of zeros, press enter. Money printing done quick. If they want to remove the banknotes or the cash, the amount, same thing with adding the zeros on it. Press the enter, done. It's so dangerous. You are losing your rights you're supposed to have. I don't know if I'm being recorded and become illegal. If that continues, I think if I ended up in prison for my speech and go worse, might be if I keep it in here, I might be as bad as ending up into the foreign jail. Initially, I was created this forum. Today's call and the phone call, public phone call. I wanted to see if there are anyone willing to be watching, talking about it, or anything else. No, absolutely not. This is legit horrifying. Understandable. But shit can go down real fast. That's why. This video. If this video had any viewers at all, it would go even longer. Okay, let's pause if I can have another thought about anything relevant to cashless society. Because cashless society can end up you controlling what you can buy, what you can spend, what you can do with a bank account. Violating the rules, indeed, you will be banned or even get your account frozen. It is no longer a choice, just like the vaccination. I'm happy to pay with debit card, but I'm not going to do it whenever they only accept that payment. Even if I have the debit card, it doesn't affect me. It's encouraged the methods that are supposed to be allowed. Okay, that's why there's some legitimate reasons people are not happy with it. People are still using cash payments. But it's not only about the conditional problem. For example, when there are natural disasters that servers go down, people are forced to use the content payment method. For example, cash. What happens when there is no internet because of the blackout or even the disasters? You're forced to use cash or any alternative payment. People will understand it. It is not just in Japan. I think there are people still highly persistent on cash. It is like, even though when we have a society that contactless payments can be well developed as much as cash, it is still dangerous. At least there's a chance. When your phone runs out of battery, your bank card suddenly fails to work. Something like that. Running into those situations can get you big troubles. In a nutshell, if your bank account is frozen, it is nothing more than you get banned federally. I mean, at least. The federally means you're basically not able to participate anything that only accepts digital currency. Rules are rules, but we are not willing to agree with it. But we have no choice. Just like I'm in Hong Kong. For now, migrating myself outside Hong Kong is not a big choice. I have no money. It is not about having no money problem. But I get no ability. Not only ability, the society. If I could migrate with no big consequences, I would be leaving immediately. We never accepted these rules. We only realized it when we grew up. If I lose, let's not say lose, because you are not actually losing. Sometimes you are being caught, you are being banned for something, for the rules violation you actually didn't violate. Well, why? Because at any time they don't like it, they just ban you. You're just, yep, they will tell you that you agree to the rules, but you have no choice in fact. You technically have no choice. Just like vaccination. You can disagree. I mean, you can be an active anti-vax, but you lose the rights you used to have. If you are getting vaccinated, you can get back, only getting back what you used to have. But don't concern about I mean, don't put the scrutiny about what is going to happen after you are vaccinated. No follow up. If you get any chances of illness and it is proven to be due to the vaccination, sorry, you are done. Because you won't be able to be compensated because you have signed a type of disclaimer. You won't get anything, but you will still be ending up getting West booster. More like cashless society is like forcing, while the cash is the meat, regular meat like beef, pork, chicken, but forcing you to use the cashless payment is like the box. Some of the globalists talk about. They will tell you that cash might be environmentally harmful, then tell you to eat the box, to use the cashless payment, because it will print less money. It uses less paper stocks, protecting the environment. In reality, it isn't. An appropriate amount of destruction is necessary for the chain to properly sustain. Because sometimes eating bugs should be done by dogs, and if we let them to eat those and we eat the dogs, it is actually much better and it's more environmentally friendly. It is. I just want to say that you lose your cash, the number on the bank is speculative unless you are able to actually withdraw it. If there's still no one listening, I better get to back schedule tomorrow's live stream. I'm more. I think I might be adding some timestamps about what I'm talking about, and I will attempt to use more on the unscripted versions. I want to present everything without the script, because when I can fluently talk about the problems with no script, I know that I can finally understand what I'm talking, because preparing a script means you are not really ready on what you're talking about. It's just alarming anyway. That is why I created some videos like cloud services and so anything relevant. That's why. Also, that's why I'm still using micro SD rather than the cloud. I often use like terabytes of data, but I don't need the cloud because I don't really need to share it for now. Even so, I would use torrent when the time comes. Just like the banknote, just not like the cash. If the cash, if bank cards like the digital payment represents cloud, cash represents physical storage. Saving your data on cloud but you must sign the agreements that you might be ending up your data being lost or something like being checked by the government. That is a problem you are not supposed to accept. This convenience, at least at the end, I have to speak it in shorter. According to the description, in the cashless society, you assuming you only have one debit card, one bank account linked into it. If you get accounts banned, frozen, or losing your card, you are into the deep trouble because you don't have banknotes. You have nothing for the urgent purposes. You don't know what to do. Getting the accounts frozen for legal reasons might not be as concerning as you might think, but if it happens, you're basically put into jail in all the ways. That is why it's going slowly, but you will end up it. This is the only alarm I could give you. Because even myself, doing this live stream might be risky to me. I might be ending up sending to the prison or even the gulag in China. I think it is random. It's idiotic to speak it. But if I don't, you won't know it. Everyone is speaking about it. That's farmers. Freedom Convoy. Lolicon. Some of these unpopular opinion, except the former two of them, have been suppressed. It can go bad real fast when they censor it. For the autistic things, Lolicon, you really need to understand that how some of those actual pedophiles try to mix up between them and themselves. And then link it up. When they link it up successfully, they will be using it to destroy the type of art that is supposed to be just an art. And censorship can be used against you. This is not cashless. If you have the bank card, it's fine, but you won't be able to instantly know how much you have, how much you actually have. Gone. Go to Google.